I'm so stoked to see you guys. It's awesome being back together. The road's cool, but it's nice to actually sit down in a quiet place and get to talk about the experience we had.
Yeah, absolutely.
All of our rides from Ink Master were different, but we all got to walk away as champions, so this is rad. Oh. So this is rad.
With me being considered a master of anything just means now you gotta maintain it.
Absolutely. I've been working harder than I ever have, trying to really live up to the title and make it worth something, because that's what matters.
The biggest problem with getting an accolade is as soon as you get put on this pedestal, your goal then is to stay there and climb. But as soon as you're recognized, you can't
It's a
ever
constant
go
treadmill.
back. Yeah, you gotta keep going higher
Yeah.
and higher and higher and higher.
Yeah, I've probably worked harder than I've ever had in my entire life, like now, like after the competition.
Exactly. You have
know.
you have to have freaking steel spine in order to get through this industry.
But it's like, this is the coolest job to work hard at.
It's awesome. You couldn't ask for anything
dream.
better than that.
Yeah,
really
it
is
really
the
is,
Yeah, now I'm curious what your answer is. This will be good.
To really, just be a successful tattoo artist. And my answer to that question is always work every single day. Even if it's just 15 minutes of drawing, something. There is no shortcuts. There is no cutting corners. You need to work at it every single day.
I would say learn the history of whatever you're about to do. You don't have to do it that way the whole time, but it doesn't hurt to understand where things come from and why they are there right now.
I was showing you some of my early work, and it was bad. I was bad for a long time. But guess what? I can do a great tattoo now because I did everything wrong you could do wrong, trying to figure out how to do it right.
I learned.
And if you just keep it going and keep it doing it with that same drive, the day's gonna come that you look back and you're great at what you do. You have a product that's respected, and you're gonna stand the test of time.
Yeah.
And patience. It's the long game.
Yeah, I agree.
I remember one of my favorite tattoos that you've done was actually on the Reflection episode with the goggles. I love that tattoo.
I'm a simple tattooer. I'm not the fanciest tattooer, but like I can do a black outline. I can put in any color, any type of skin tone. It doesn't matter what kind of tattooing you do. We do 3 different types of tattooing, but we have the same fundamentals of all of them. That's why we all sit here and have this conversation.
And that's what people forget. It's like you don't have to have glitz and glam and glory. You have to know your tools and apply them. And that's what it is. Everybody wants that quick hoorah. They want the pat on the back. They want to be told they're awesome. But if you don't build a foundation, your house is going to fall.
Exactly. You got to do it one way and the right way. And there's no way around it.
I love your style of tattooing. Like when I see your tattoos, I'm like, that's a Tony tattoo. It has your soul and your style in it.
I remember to get you into the finale, it was the fine line Sacred Heart. And I'm like, I'd have gone home. I'd have been done. And I think me and you have tattooed for the same length of time. But the difference is East Coast is never introduced to that style of art. I've never touched a single liner. Those things are crazy.
You know what's funny?
I would fillet you if I used that thing. Like, it'd be bad.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
You're totally right. It was
But that's the difference between
My first 10
Between
years,
cultures
my
and where
first
you
10
grew up
years
and where
was
I grew
single
up.
needle. And I was doing names on the neck. I can do that all day, every day.
you're not bringing your style to upstate New York and finding a client. It ain't happening.
No.
It's not going down.
That's why I think it's cool. The season that they're doing right now with the turf war.
The regions.
Yeah, I think that's really cool because it does kind of touch on like how each region does have its own style.
And you see drastically different tattoos from each group of people. Being able to create art is the most beautiful thing in the world. And I feel like the least we can do is pay it back by learning everything we can, working as hard as we can, studying as hard as we can.
You see so many things on the internet. It's so easy to just, look up an image on Google and trace it and then make an easy buck off of it, but that loses the soul of tattooing. There's really something to be said for, when you're a walk-in shop and you have a client come in and you got to draw something like that on them. Like, to me, that's like talent is when you can do that and you just rely on yourself.
You can tell someone just applied something versus someone who put some soul into it.
Yeah.
There's a huge difference. Like the tattoo, once it heals, you'll see all the shortcuts.
When you do a tattoo, you want to give it 100%. There's no point in giving it 50%. There's absolutely no point.
That's the truth.
And that's why you won, and that's why you won, is there's a realness to respecting and loving your product. This is what I'm doing, and I'm willing to sacrifice anything for it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's like you're giving a product to someone that's going to last the rest of their lives. There is not one thing on this planet that people are going to take to the grave with them other than a tattoo.
That's a great quote. I've actually learned to draw from my mom, and she's a great artist, but she used to work nights in a diner booth. So I'd sit in the diner booth and start drawing, and she would teach me how to draw like women's faces and bodies and all that kind of stuff. And then she just always was just like, just keep practicing, keep drawing the shapes. I'm gonna go fill these sugars up real quick, and
That's cool.
here I am now.
That's awesome. That's really cool. I didn't know that about you.
My old man was the one. It's like, you know, you just have to do it, and you have to work harder than the next guy. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You know what I mean? If you're gonna go dig a hole, you dig the hole round, you dig it the right depth. You do it right. You don't slack. I looked at him recently, and I'm like, you know, the worst thing I got from you, I don't know how to stop, and I'm way too worried about things being right. And he goes, that's not a bad trait. I go, it is. I hate it. I go, it haunts me. I go,
I've had actually quite a few mentors in my life. My first one was my mom, and she would introduce me to all these different art mentors. Because my mom was like, just like you, I want you to learn a craft. And at first I hated it, you know, and now it's like, holy shit, well,
I think that's why our stories relate.
yeah.
Because our moms were just like, drawing's cool.
Yeah.
Just keep doing it.
at the end of the day, we're all totally different people from totally different places, but we all have that same drive and that same passion, that same love, and it's amazing to become a family with people you didn't know.
If they ever bring us all back together, we'll find out who the real masters are.
Cheers to that.
I'm in.
Inkmaster Turf War, brought to you by Jack Daniels, the whiskiest whiskey from Lynchburg, Tennessee. Please drink responsibly.